Alright, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, also known as Mission Impossible 7, directed by Christopher McQuarrie. This guy has directed every single one of these things since Rogue Nation. Now, first things first, I gotta say, this guy really knows how to craft an action scene. And when I say that, I mean there are scenes in this movie where you cannot believe the amount of adrenaline that is pumping through your heart as you're watching this unfold. There's a chase scene in Rome that will knock your socks off and you will just not forget it. It's the type of scene where you're gonna remember who you saw it with and you're gonna have conversations with and remember when we saw that shit and how crazy it was and how intense it felt. It is that good. This time around, Ethan Hunt and his team are after a secret weapon known as the Entity, which is basically a form of AI. And if this thing falls in the wrong hands, it could potentially destroy the world. And that's basically it for the plot. That's actually the biggest negative for me about this film. The plot is rather weak, especially compared to the plot in the last 3 or so Mission Impossible movies. But the action scenes are fucking top notch. They are some of the very best I have ever seen. I do think it was a tad bit too long, maybe about 15 minutes or so too long, especially the last sequence. I've heard a lot of people really praise that last sequence on the train. I found it to be rather boring, rather lackluster in terms of adrenaline and intensity. I think it took a while to get there. And also, for a franchise that really prides itself in having really practical stunts, there's a lot of CGI in the last sequence. Now, I'm not saying that these actors should risk their lives a little more for us, but I do think that it kind of takes me away from that, especially when the rest of the film before that was lacking in CGI. But other than that, I think it's still a pretty solid action movie. This is still one of the best action franchises ever done. But it's a solid 7 out of 10 for me. I'll be there for part 2 for the finale, opening night. I think this is Tom Cruise at his best as far as stunts go. But yeah, those are my thoughts.